such a corny way, though, so I'm so anti-dragon now. It was so corny. How Game of Thrones ended with the dragons flying around and stuff. I'm like, how fucking lame was that? I'm sorry. You guys have followed Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, I watched all 3 seasons in 7 days.
All of a sudden...
And how dare you talk ill of my future wife, Daenerys Stormborn, House Targaryen.
I was...
First of her name.
Yeah, I was pro-Stormborn.
Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea.
I was pro-Mother of Dragons.
Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains.
Y'all best not be stepping off. I was pro-Mother of Dragons till that last episode, and it ended so corny that I'm like, I just want one of those fucking dragons to just take...
Queen of the 7 Kingdoms.
I wanted them to take a fat shit on her head, and it should have ended like that. It was so corny.
Of the Andals and the First Men.
Shit. Yeah, exactly. They should have
just... And Protector of the Realm.
I'm like, yeah, I mean...
How dare you speak ill of her?
I'm pro Game of Thrones, except that last episode, the way it went out in the end with the dragons and stuff, and then them bowing to her. I'm like, okay, could you guys be any more corny? Like, this is like Army of Darkness now, which I'm so Army of Darkness fan, but
I don't know what Army of Darkness
it's a cult classic, but it's meant to be cheesy.
But do not speak ill of Daenerys Stormborn.
Well, I will.
I have to say that
she's fucking ill.
I'm really impressed. I think they did a really good job. I hope that more of my favorite books that I've grown up with take that same route. I don't like this whole thing trying to shrink it into a 2-hour movie. I think that's ridiculous. Even a 3-part movie like The Lord of the Rings, I really like this new the new evolution of media where they're taking a book and they're turning it into a whole friggin' season. They're giving it 12 to 15 episodes, and they're really doing the book justice. And on top of that, they some of these are more and more of these like the whole Gladiator thing, the Spartacus thing.
Oh, I love that shit.
No, that's not a good example. But anyways, they're displaying R-rated material on R-rated programs, so they're not hiding. They're not trying to rinse it down.
Definitely.
So one thing you're talking about, like turning books into longer television series,
mm-hmm.
but one thing that I don't like is when somebody will take a movie and then turn it into a television series, such as Spartacus.
Yeah,
everybody has already seen the movie Spartacus. They know what happens.
No, but this one did it
justice. You can't then turn it into...
But you didn't see Spartacus, did you?
The movie, yes.
You did not see the film.
Which one? The old one? The guy with the butt chin? What's his
Spartacus.
Name?
But you did not
I am Spartacus, and then he's the only one that doesn't stand up and say, I am Spartacus.
Until you watch the Spartacus series, though, y'all best be stepping up. That is so classic.
I want to watch the series. It would be like if somebody took
No, you can't. It's apples and oranges, my friend.
I have to say that...
Can I finish my
I thought you were done, man.
No.
Go ahead.
It would be like if somebody took National Lampoon Vacation and turned it into a television
Not
show.
Really.
It doesn't convert. You can't just convert a movie into a television series.
We'll watch the Spartacus series and see what your thoughts are there.
Yeah,
Charlie.
I know. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet?
I've seen the movie.
But you haven't seen the
Listen,
series.
if you heard me talking about Game of Thrones all the time, talking about dragons and horse lords and stuff like that, and knights, and just a little tinge of magic, what would you think coming from me? You probably would never watch it. You just had to stumble onto these things on your own time, and then that's when you finally realize, hey, I'm a fucking fantasy nerd like the rest of these guys. Same thing with Spartacus. Yep. Trust me, just fucking watch it.
I know what happens though.
It's not about the ending. It's about the ramping up of it's all the drama. It's all the characters.
So let me guess. I should go see the movie Titanic because it's not about the fucking boat sinking.
It's about Leonardo DiCaprio and that homegirl.
People who like romance dramas will argue the same thing. It's not about the ending. Sure.
Then don't fucking call it Titanic.
It's not about the ending. It's about the story.
So let's make a movie.
You've never seen Titanic?
Let's make a movie about a couple of people that fall in love on a Zeppelin, but we're going to call it Hindenburg, and then people are going to fucking be surprised that it explodes at the end.
I don't think anybody was surprised that the Titanic sunk.
But it was a beautiful story, for Christ's
Actually,
sake.
considering people in our country who, and how much they know about American history, you might be surprised at how many people were surprised that the fucking Titanic sunk.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a story about love, for Christ's sake.
Then call
That's what
it the fucking Love Boat.
No, they already had the Love Boat.
That was a television show, and you're saying that every television show should be a movie, and every movie should be a television
But let me
show.
go
No,
straight.
I didn't say that.
That's what this jackass
No, he
said.
didn't.
What, I didn't say anything about everything should be a television show, but Spartacus is the shit. I pretty much cried in that last
Okay, so let's
episode.
make Ghostbusters the television show.
All right, but no, listen.
would
I
work.
mean, you're getting onto an argument that I want to follow up on. We live in a time where everything has been done. Our collection of media goes back at least 100 years, and we have ready access to all of those movies and stuff. So all these things have already been done, and you have creators who are having a hard time, producers, who are having a hard time coming up with new things. So they're having to do a lot of remakes, and I have to say, probably 60-70% of those remakes aren't worth remaking. And of
Let's
course,
make Breaking Bad the movie.
and of course, you're going to hear,
No, wait.
and of course, you're going to have the naysayers and the purists who aren't going to agree with. But I tell you what, there's been some good remakes in the last couple of years. The new Batman, not the Batman Begins or whatever,
Sure,
the Nolan Batmans. I like those Batmans. Those are pretty
I saw
good.
the one with the Joker and all that. I like that one, but I
Well, the
didn't
one
see
before
other
that. So yeah, I think all three of them were good. They had their problems, but they were darker and they
Yeah.
were
But that's like saying-
they were more serious.
That's different because Batman and Superman, they're all based off of comic books.
I don't like the new Superman, by the way.
That those just keep going on and on in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a definitive story.
But
it would be like if somebody made a television series called The Shining and based it off of the Stephen King.
No, and
novel.
I
really.
agree. Usually, no. At least in the last 10 years ago, when they do take they take TV shows and make them from a movie, they're super low budget. But it's changed, man. Now they're spending Game of Thrones. Pretty much every one of those episodes is a movie. It's a mini movie.
I don't care about how much they spend on production.
But that increases the value. That increases the
Right, but my thing is when you take something that was a movie that everybody knows the plot and everybody remembers the ending, and then you
Sure.
turn it into a television series.
Yeah.
then
I
agree.
Basically, you're turning a movie into like we're never going
Sure.
to end it.
I partially
because we
agree.
want people to keep watching.
Sure, I partially agree with you, man. Like something like Spartacus. I mean, it's kind of different. You're talking about like a historical event. It's kind of like saying that, say, if there was, say, a libertarian theme story called the Civil War, where they're putting out like a new episode every week. Well, there's already been a Lincoln done, right? Like it's kind of like, but when you're talking about a historical thing like something like Spartacus, where it's just so broad. In to actually go through and actually give it its justice, like there's apples and oranges to some degree, but I'm with
Then
you, man.
do it
It's
as a
cheesy as fuck.
mini-series.
But like something like
Do it as a mini series.
No, I'm with you though. But something like say Wizard of Oz. Let's do Wizard of Oz again or something. Let's call it fucking Oz. Or,
which by the way sucked ass.
did it? I didn't see it.
And so that's a good example because they totally remade.
Oh, you beat that
They
dog.
totally remade the Wizard of Oz. It's totally different. It's like
The baby.
it's like after the fact. It's totally sucked. I don't recommend anyone watch it. But
Gee.
You're talking about the movie
Aw.
Return to Oz that came out in the 80s?
no, the one not that was that was horrible. No, the one they just did with Smiley on it.
I don't
And
know
a
what
bunch
you're
of bunch of
talking about.
actresses were in it. Anyways, it's horrible. Don't watch it. It's
It didn't get good
it's
reviews.
Disney
Okay.
or something.
I
So-
saw that.
The thing about Spartacus, if you want to like expand on the original story, make a miniseries. Do like a 7-part miniseries. Don't do a fucking television show.
Oh man, you have to see it though. It's like 13
I don't
episodes.
have to do shit.
No, but you would love
I
it.
don't
You
have
would
to
jerk
get
off to
used
it by
to
the time you were
fucking
done.
shit.
13 episodes. It's so good. The first season. And then Homeboy dies, Spartacus dies, like the real Spartacus. It's like, oh my god, that sucks.
Oh, the actor.
Yeah, dude. And the second season kind of blew.
Wait,
after
what?
The actor died between season 1 and season 2, so they had to get a new Spartacus.
He got like AIDS or leukemia or something.
and he did an all right job.
AIDS
Oh, he
and
did an
leukemia
amazing-
are two totally different things.
Are you talking about the original Spartacus? He did an amazing job, the original Spartacus.
I thought the second guy was all right. I don't know. It's been like 2 years since I saw it.
Oh, dude.
I still haven't seen the third
The
season.
second guy, like I said, you can't really live up to the original one, so it was kind of like, I give him props. The third season, he started to come through, especially towards the end. But the second season was rough. The first half of the second season's almost.
All right, so let me
rough
ask you
period.
this question, Conan.
Go ahead.
If HBO decided to make a series called 300,
It's kind of different because
About-
You know they're making a 302 right now.
are they? It's
What
kind of
the
different.
fuck?
It's different though. Spartacus.
what?
It's the Peloponnesian War. It's the because that is a story that continues on. So the Spartans did their thing, and now they should be all dead. Actually, hold on now. Yeah, they should be all dead. I don't know what happened in the 300. They all died.
I've never
right?
seen 300.
The
actually. I've never-
300 soldiers that were there died.
Okay, so all right. So anyways, so it's not going to be those same guys, but there is the Peloponnesian. It's the Peloponnesian War, right?
Peloponnesian.
So yeah, that's going to be the second part. That's going to be the second movie. But it's going to be by I think it's by Snyder, the guy who's.
But
he's
don't
very
fucking
artsy.
call it the 300 Part 2.
It's not 300 Part 2. It's 300 Living Under the Shadow or something. I don't fucking know.
It's 300 and a half.
300 and a half men.
Yeah, 301. Is it 301? Then you can do a 302, a 303.
You guys.
It's infinite. The potential is
You
can.
guys.
It's infinite.
Wow.
It's infinite. You can do anything with that.
Oh, I love media, dude.
I love it.
I love
It's
it.
Great.
All right, so hey, check this out, people of the world.
So the question was, if they turned that into a television series,
Well, here's the way. I don't usually
would you
watch.
be like, "Oh, I have to go watch this because I love the movie, and now I'm gonna
No.
like the television
I'm with
series"?
you.
I don't go to the movies.
that they can never fucking end unless they just go ahead and cancel it after the first season.
Who do you think you're talking to? I don't go to the movies. I
You
don't.
have
I don't.
seen the movie 300. Like,
Yeah, but I watch
you,
it.
you
But I
do
finally
realize that movies exist, and you watch them occasionally on
Huh?
like DVD
Movies?
or some shit.
Yeah, but I
right?
didn't watch it until it came out on Redbox or something. I didn't go out to. I didn't rush out to the movies to watch it. And I
Did
was all
I
like,
say that you did go rush out to the movie theater?
Conan rushed out to the movie theater to watch the movie
I'll
300.
I'll give any movie a chance, but I'm not necessarily going to spend money on it.
but
if-
catching
That's
fire.
not what I said.
If the world was full of Conans, every single movie would be hard hitting and it would be important, and it'd be so few. It'd be like 1% of the fucking 100% of the movies that are out there, and
They wouldn't get the funding though, and
and
necessary.
they would
shit
all
like
be
that.
hard hitting and excellent.
Yeah,
but
but they wouldn't get the net. They wouldn't get
if
the
you were
funding.
the only one making movies, then wouldn't you then be putting out 100% of the movies?
That's what I mean. But no, they would be as far as the assort. What's the word I'm looking for?
I
Okay.
don't know
I'm having a brain
what
fart.
word you're looking for.
Goober Bison.
That's what I was looking for. No, there would be less movies.
Right, but it wouldn't be 1% because you would be putting out all of the movies.
There'd be 1% of what they're making these days.
That's not what you said. You said I'd only be putting out 1% of all the movies if I were making all the movies.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. But like I said, going back to the Spartacus, I mean, it's kind of different one because it's such a broad historical story that it was already kind of fucked with by making that original movie. It just doesn't give it justice. So it's so broad. It's kind of like I said, the Civil War. Like there's been tons of movies about Civil War, but imagine you could do a series about the Civil War, but say you have a different spin on it. Maybe that has like a Liberty theme or something.
I think they most definitely added a new spin to the
without a
Spartacus.
doubt,
the
it's very
Spartacus
Liberty.
shows.
Of course, it was violent, of course, but it had a very Liberty-oriented theme. They had some tremendous quotes, especially in the final episode. But the first season is a shit. I recommend to anybody who has not seen Spartacus go and fucking
All
see
right,
that.
so I think a better comparison, instead of comparing the Spartacus movie that is now apparently a television show
You're talking about
to all of the Civil War that there could be, because that was what, a 5-year war.
sure.
And there's so much backstory.
Same thing with the Spartacus story, though.
Right, but I think a better comparison, because Spartacus wasn't a war that lasted 6 years that took place over 20 different states.
Actually, it probably did last a couple of years.
Right,
Yeah.
but it wasn't in 20 different locations simultaneously. Spartacus is the story of one man.
There can be only one.
Spartacus
Gandhi,
represents us all.
turning like the life of Gandhi into a television series.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Oh yeah,
I would
I'd
because-
watch that.
Okay, at some point the British power is broken.
Yeah.
But because we're not doing this as a mini-series, we have to drag it on until in
Think about it.
perpetuity.
Think about the potential he could
and
start.
we can never end the show because we want to keep making episodes. So, you can never fucking end it.
But you could be like Gandhi starts a meth lab or something like, and you could just
I
kind of
know,
build. And
exactly.
the potential's endless. About Gandhi, I mean,
You
you're
can have
talking
Gandhi as wasn't there
Yeah.
a time when Gandhi was a straight up
pimp.
pimp living in England? He was at school, so you can have young
Yeah,
Gandhi.
He was
in-
actually living in
was a lawyer.
South Africa.
I thought he was in England for a good long. I thought he went to school in Britain.
He
I know
probably
he
did.
lived in South
So
Africa.
you could have had those 4 years. You could turn that into 3 or 4 seasons right
Uh-huh.
there. And he's just straight up pimping.
And call it Gandhi.
And then he has this change around where he starts to follow Buddha or something, or
Fuck yeah, we
turns into a
should probably
hippie.
keep that shit to
And
ourselves.
he's out
'cause
there
this
in
is
the
like
English countryside, and he's sitting around
this is a show in the making.
having a picnic with
We
some.
probably shouldn't make this public because this is like some good.
I know
shit.
we're straight up giving too much away.
Yeah, we're like giving money
All right.
away right now, millions of dollars to some prick out
Horrible
there.
idea.
Yeah, some producer's thinking, all right, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? And
Exactly.
he's watching,
Gandhi is like,
of course,
okay,
he's watching this show
Black
because
Sheep
all
Rising,
good
Gandhi,
producers
bitch.
watch this to get good ideas.
Yep.
Because
Horrible idea.